what is in fact so darn different about job search at the executive level? You're earning 200K and above, possibly, you're in the senior position, C-suite. What is really so different about search for someone like you?
I think I figured this out in headhunting. When I was headhunting, I kind of had this epiphany. And I did accounting and finance search. So if I was searching, well, let's say I was working with the CFO, but we were trying to fill a position lower in the org chart, say like a controller or a manager or something like that. They would give me a list of skills and experience that they were looking for. And, headhunters, we have to go out and find that person. And that's pretty much who they would hire. It's like money in the bank and contingency recruiting. That's money in the bank. We filled it. But I noticed something different when it was a C-level role or any position in the org chart where the person that it reports to, they don't do the same thing that person does. And they, first of all, it's not a one person decision. It's usually a consensus decision, to Jill's point. There's like a slate of people. There's investors, there's board members, there's, some of those board members are probably lawyers and, donors or, whatever. They all have a list of, whatever it is they want. And if I were to go to those people and say, what skills, experience are you looking for? I'll be lucky if half the time, Tony, the person they hired had any of the things they told me they were looking for. And I didn't understand why at first. And then I went back to each and every scenario, every time it happened, because, I don't like money being pulled out from underneath me. And I realized they didn't know what skills and experience they really needed. But you know what they did know? What needed to happen. So here's what I did. I started asking my clients, what are you trying to make happen? And then when I sourced the C-level person, if all they did is give me the whole hour-long talk about all the stuff they've done and all their accomplishments, which is really hard for most people not to do, I knew they would not be able to make the case to my client. So if they said, here's the problem I solve and here's how I uniquely solve it, boom, I'd put that person in. I got to a 1 out of 3 offer ratio, which is, like the golden standard. So then I said, this is what people need to do. They need to not market themselves for these executives roles with all the stuff they've done. They need to market themselves with the problem they solve. Well, most people don't want to go through that work. They don't want to say, well, you should be able to look at my skills and experience and figure it out. Well, not necessarily, because remember, at the executive level, your stakeholders don't do what you do, or they wouldn't need you. So how you market yourself is completely different.